County Commissioners check-in for Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. It is 1:35 p.m. and my name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. We have all commissioners present: Commissioner Fournier, Commissioner Klaus, Commissioner Grant, Commissioner Mejia on Zoom, and County Manager Leonard Hernandez, Clerk of the Board Amy Davis. Public attendance on Thurston County YouTube channel. We're having intermittent live stream issues, so if it's not live streaming now, it will be posted and it's being recorded for that purpose. Written public comment may be received up to 2 hours in advance of meeting and distributed to the board. Action may be taken at this meeting. First up is external boards and commissions. Any reports on external committees? Commissioner Klaus, I wanted to ask you, if I may.
Sure.
I had a constituent email regarding climate mitigation collaborative and the home energy ordinance score.
Yeah.
And I was gonna, in my mind, I assumed we were waiting for Rebecca to come back in a couple of weeks. But then this constituent said that maybe the collaborative had a discussion about pushing things out a little bit. Can you report on that?
Yeah, definitely. So I was under the impression that when Rebecca returned that we would be having discussions about the next steps. But this week at the TCMC meeting, it was mentioned that we're holding off until next year, which I do remember conversations about holding off on the initiative until next year because of staff capacity. But
from us or from just everywhere?
Just from everywhere, not from here. But don't want to lose my train of thought. So, yeah, pushing off till next year because of staff capacity. But then after talking with some constituents, it seemed like there is a little bit of pushback from the community about like, why do you need to wait until next year for an ordinance that's already drafted? And so I'm not 100% sure if it's because jurisdictions are still, I know that we were hoping that all jurisdictions would be ready to push it forward. And I don't know if there are certain jurisdictions that are held up somewhere, but I think that when Rebecca comes back, that's when we'll resume those conversations. So
yeah, I would like to consider if Rebecca's able to go and there's some steps that could be taken, I would like to discuss the possibility of moving forward and not just because it might take longer for some reason here. Like there's no reason, it's a process, and I don't think there's any reason to wait if we're ready to go.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see what you knew about that.
Yeah, I've actually had it on my list to touch base with you about it, and then we had the meeting this week, so I was going to touch base with you. So I'm glad you asked. But yeah, I think that there is some. Yeah, there's definitely a large part of the community who's aware of this that would like to see it move forward quickly, which I totally understand. It's an important ordinance, and if we're ready to go, then maybe there's something we could do there at the county level. But I know Rebecca will be back soon, so that's conversations we'll be having here pretty soon.
Perfect. Any other external board reports? We'll just start with you since I picked you first.
No, that was my only one this week.
Okay, Commissioner Fournier.
I gave mine last night.
Okay, Commissioner Grant.
I'm here. Sorry, I had to unmute. I'm driving. Nothing. I gave my report yesterday.
Okay, Commissioner Mejia.
Give me 1 second. I'm almost in there.
Okay. For me, I talked about the Building Code Council yesterday, and that's one thing I would have talked about here. Trying to think if I have any other reports from external committees. Going to the Washington Insurance Fund meeting for 2 days in the Tri-Cities, which I've never been to. You've been to one?
No, that's the one that Gary would always go to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what is in store for me there.
Oh, boy.
Apparently communications got like routed to the wrong commissioner, so I'm finding out about this like just a few days before I'm gonna have to go. So we'll see how that all shakes out. They're looking for a new executive director, I know.
You should do it.
Well, that's funny that you asked, because they sent out I have an email saying, what qualifications do you think are important, and do you have anybody to refer that you think would fit? So if anyone thinks they have a good fit for the insurance pool's executive director, I've been asked and I don't have any,
Not to commit fraud.
I don't even know, yeah.
Step one.
Follow the rules. I don't really even, yeah, I need to, I'm like, I'm not gonna respond to this email until I've attended one meeting, actually know what it is that they do, or what the board, is asked to weigh in on, so, anyway. And then I've got, coming up, the next week is the quarterly, basically the big meeting of the year for the Winter Recreation Advisory Committee.
Oh, boy.
Budget meeting in Wenatchee for 2 days, so that's on a Friday and a Saturday.
That should be in the winter,
Well, there is one in
like at a
there's
ski resort. or
There's two
something.
Zooms in the fall and the spring, and then the winter and summer are in person, and the winter one's more like fun, and you have a meeting like on a Friday night, and then you do something fun on Saturday.
Okay.
But the summer one's like to get the business, get the budget sorted out, it's like the more of the substantive one. The only one I've attended was the spring Zoom, so I haven't made it through a winter to see exactly what it is, but it sounds like it could be cool. Snowshoeing or something. All right, Commissioner Mejia, did you have any external boards?
Thank you. Just, I guess, on the risk pool, I think we heard about it 2 weeks ago from kind of our rates that impact is going to be coming down. And so it looks like we're going to be getting an 800,000 plus hit. So
Insurance rate.
insurance rate increase for our risk pool. There should be more information by the end of that week, but
Are we getting hit like in the past? A few years ago, it was Thurston County getting hit harder than others. and-
1.3, no, it's going around
This
this
is
time
like a-
around. It's pretty unilaterally just based on some new cases that have come through. We're all gonna be getting the impact, and Brian talked about this in our session 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to kind of remind everyone, and just have that in the back of your mind as we're going through budget process, that is an impact that we're gonna be getting, and not much that we can do about it. I remember when that first impact that we got, where Thurston County got hit pretty bad. It's kind of, I think, one of the reasons why our budget has kind of suffered the impacts is it's just those risk pool rates going up. And then I mentioned yesterday TRPC, and so we are doing the executive director recruitment, and we have hired a recruitment firm, which is Protham. And Steve Worthington is going to be the lead from Protham on this recruitment. And so he will be joining Steve Worthington.
Is that the same guy we had for?
I am not sure. I was hoping maybe someone would ring a bell to someone. And so they are, we've delivered all the information on that, including the job description and the approved salary range, and we did a survey on desired ED quality, same of what is going on in the insurance rate. So if anyone knows anyone for that position, it's going to be open pretty soon. And so we'll be having a meeting with the subcommittee on recruitment next Monday.
You on that subcommittee?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions for Commissioner Mejia? Okay.
Thank you for asking about the climate conversation, and thank you, Commissioner Klaus, for that update. It was-
Definitely.
Okay, Commissioner items, I know there was I think Commissioner Klaus wanted to postpone discussion on item 1. So that's fine. I think everybody was agreed at that. So are there any other Commissioner items to take up?
I have a question about where constituents could find meeting minutes. I've had a few people ask recently, and
On what?
meeting minutes for our regular meetings, if those are available publicly.
Do minutes.
We do.
Clerk of the board?
Our Tuesday 2 p.m. board meeting minutes are posted online in our Laserfish library.
Okay.
So that can be found on
Approve minutes.
the commissioners'
No.
weekly meeting and agendas webpage.
Laserfish Library? Isn't that like from like the 80s or something? I mean,
Stop critiquing our
mid-seventies.
systems.
well, I'm just saying, like, what, like, it's not real Laserfish, right?
It's,
It is.
yeah.
We still use it at the county.
We do?
We're up to date in technology.
Okay, and then, that's Tuesday.
Latest and greatest
meeting,
systems.
and what other types of minutes exist?
Minutes exist for every meeting
Yes.
of the board.
But why'd you single out and say the Tuesday, 2 PM?
Those meeting minutes are posted online.
Okay, and other ones folks have to come in and ask?
Yeah, we just get me we respond with them.
Okay, so looking at the website, it looks like the minutes, when I try to look, there's 7 entries, a couple from January, 2 from February, 2 from March, and then none until yesterday.
I'll have to take a look.
Okay, that would be awesome. And if there are should we be approving meeting minutes at the beginning of our agendas?
So there was this whole discussion and history on the approving of meeting minutes. You don't remember? It was this whole situation, because there was this constituent concern that was brought up and there was, I have to go back and look at my notes, Commissioner Claus, but there was a reason why it was taken off the agenda, because I'm looking towards Commissioner Menser to see if he remembers, because we were approving them, and there was this whole thing about the minutes, and then it was Elizabeth who was like, just take it off, you don't have to approve it. And so it was taken off the agendas too.
I don't remember exactly I remember that we dealt with it somehow, but I don't remember the specifics of it. But yeah, I know we went through a big to-do with minutes back in like 2020 or 21.
I was brand new and it was this whole thing, and then it would I remember just the
21.
the resolution was to take it away from the agenda. But I have to go back and look at my notes, but that's kind of one of the reasons.
Okay.
But I don't remember the specifics on it.
Maybe next time we have Travis,
Yeah.
Andy, or on something, we can just ask him for an update. Because it would be
Yeah.
good to refresh my own memory of
Yeah,
why we decided. what
review
we
the
did.
resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really good, because I know there is a state statute that requires us to keep minutes, and I don't think that it does require us to approve them at the beginning of every meeting, but there are some specifics on what is required to be tracked at a bare minimum, and so I just want to make sure that we're in compliance with that. And it would also be really helpful for me to have something that I could look back on, because sometimes we go through so much, it's hard to remember all the details.
I would be supportive of this, if this meets your concern, because I have such a vague memory of it all, and Travis is new. I would be supportive of like a query to Travis, like, hey, could you come update the board and assure us we're in compliance with how we're handling minutes?
I think
that was the query beforehand, actually. You're like jogging
Yeah.
and Commissioner Klaus just jogged my memory with the statute. It was us looking back at that statute because constituent brought concerns over the minutes, and they were like, well, you have to approve minutes for every meeting. And there was this whole debate about approving all the minutes
Or
for.
different meetings that happen during the
Yes,
week.
like
and-
work
Sessions,
sessions,
yeah.
and some of the minutes were not like, basically, if I remember, it was like no action taken by the board was the minutes that were taken for like work sessions, since they're recorded, right? And so they were a little bit less. And so then there was this whole discussion with Elizabeth about it. And I think her recommendation was not having them on, just not approving them, period. Like, not having them on the BOCC agenda. I think that's kind of what started the first conversation.
County manager, what do you know about this?
I don't know
I think
anything.
Leonard's like.
This is all before your time.
I think this is why it's good for us to know what you guys want to talk about so that we can do a little background.
Yeah.
But,
Sometimes this is just, like, we're not expecting an answer, obviously, but this is
Yeah.
a good thing to like, okay,
Yeah.
down the road, we could
I
probably.
asked Carolina about it a couple weeks ago, and she was like, oh,
I did send a couple emails last week, but didn't hear back to the clerk of the board. about it and I didn't hear back. So that's why I brought it up during commissioner items.
That's fine. I mean, we, like I say, we're not on any timeline, but
Right,
at some
yeah.
point, we could just, I could just send an email to Travis if you like and just say, hey,
Might be a good refresher.
we have new board
Yeah.
members, we got new county manager. Can you remind us of the history of how we got to where we got? And can you, and just give us assurance that we're in compliance with regard to keeping and.
Yeah, I think I'll touch base with Commissioner McGee and get your notes, because what Travis is,
Go back and look at them. I don't
Travis is gonna want to understand, like, if there's anything in writing or guidance given to the board in the past, and then we can frame the
It's
question.
like, I didn't have a remarkable back then. I
I
had
don't,
a.
I think it was a resolution that they passed.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
Did you say there was a resolution, or the resolution was?
No, there was no
okay.
Oh.
resolution. No, it was just advice that was given to the board.
an
And,
executive session.
yeah, well, no, I don't
That'd be a
remember.
weird thing to.
Because a particular citizen was threatening to sue us, so.
It was over the meeting minutes,
It
yeah,
could have very well been an executive session based on a threat of litigation.
maybe.
I've had, not just meeting minutes questions, but closed caption questions, because apparently, and I think we've talked about this maybe, but the YouTube closed captioning that is like automatically embedded into the system doesn't do a very good job, so people who have accessibility issues have struggled with that, format. So that was another reason why, some folks brought to my attention that meeting minutes would be a good way to have something people could look at, since sometimes.
Meeting minutes are usually not detailed. That's, it just says there was a conversation about this action was taken, there was a conversation about, and anytime you get into detail about meeting minutes is when you have problems, because then we end up going back and, well, this is what was really said, that was,
Yeah, but that's why we would review them and approve them, maybe, I don't know what the lawyers would say, but,
yeah, you typically don't write out what people said, you don't want to get that detailed in them.
yeah,
And from just a high level staffing impact, if that's something we're gonna have the clerk do, that'd be a significant impact based on how many meetings we have.
Yeah.
So it's something that we can go back and talk to Travis about, but also look at how we got to where we got to.
Yeah, I think it's a good conversation, good refresher.
and then I have one more thing, kind of while we're on the note of having, some legal input. I remember a couple months ago, we mentioned some OPMA, conversations that might be coming up, like whether it's a training for the board or, just a conversation, I'm not sure, but there was a comment made that, I think we were going to be addressing the question about, like, whether executive aides talking to a certain number of commissioners constitutes a serial meeting. And I believe that was mentioned that it would be covered specifically in the conversation that, when the attorneys come talk with us. And so I was just wondering if that meeting or conversation is in the works.
Talked about an OPMA training at some point, kind of
I know.
updating the board.
Yeah, I don't believe those two were connected, from my recollection. I do know that Travis and John are working on some type of training. I can get an update from them on if they're ready to come back.
I don't know, like the Secretary of State, I think, does the trainings on that. That's where I would, the state has people that will come in if we ask them to put on a workshop.
Usually you can ask those kind of questions. Like they'll cover a serial meeting at every OPMA training, and then we could give them hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's our lawyers or the state's people,
Yeah,
just
we
to
can
kind
follow
of
up.
clarify that. for
Yeah, that'd be
folks,
awesome.
Make it good. Okay, good. Yeah, I had that down to follow up on based on your request, so thank you for bringing that up. Anything else? Ice cream time?
Yes.
All right,
I already ate mine.
all right, guys. We're adjourned.